Hello, today is October 19th, 2020. This is the AWS Cluster API meeting. This is a subproject of SIG Cluster Lifecycle, and we do adhere to the CNCF Code of Conduct. So please be kind to everybody. And if you need edit access to this document, there is giant instructions on how to do that. Please come in and add your name to the attending list. And if you've got any topics you'd like to discuss, please add them down below. And I will turn it over to Nadir for the first couple, actually for everything on the agenda for right now. Hopefully your mic works.
That's terrible.
There we go.
I've dialed in on my phone, so kind of weird headphones. Hope it works. Yeah, to PSA. So first of all, is we released 061. Thanks to everyone who contributed. There's quite a lot in it. Especially around EKS, I think there's a desire to improve E2E for all of the new stuff for the next release. Please take a look. The second thing I just want to draw people's attention to, so it's not Cluster API, but there is work in progress to develop the new AWS cloud provider. Now, following conversation we had last week on grooming for Cluster API, there's some things we might want to do for that around supporting multiple clusters with the same name across multiple namespaces when they're creating Cluster API. So if there's other things that you think we should be doing in that new Vision Cloud Provider, things where there's a sort of mismatch between what we're doing in Cluster API and AWS, create an issue in that repo or leave a comment and figure out what we're doing. We're going to try and share more code between Kappa and the Cloud Provider anyway. But yeah, I just want to draw people's attention to that. And I'll go on to the next group topic. So I haven't got very far on it, but I have started a new doc. So I'm technically on leave this week, but I've just started a doc on what we want V1 Alpha 4 API to look like. And this sort of relates to, it's mostly empty doc, but I started putting in the user stories essentially based on some conversations that I've had, I've done some sort of interviews with some people. I'm going to be talking to some other sort of end users about how they're using Cluster API right now and how they want to use it in the future. And then from that, sort of try and figure out what the API looks like. In my mind, we're very much heading towards the direction where, unfortunately, it does look a bit more like Terraform or CloudFormation, where you have separate CRDs for the various objects. We do also need to think about what the UX for that, like how do we sort of simplify that creation? Because I think when we started Cluster API AWS, we really didn't want to repeat Terraform. But like there's kind of no way around that to give the flexibility, but we do need a way to sort of wrap up that flexibility in easy to use, where like how do we create things like templates so that people can stamp out a particular shape of an environment repeatedly, and maybe that default one does look like what we have today, but how do we enable that flexibility? So I've not got very far in this. I put some sort of very high level goals. I have put up the goals up above a bit. Like they're kind of very sort of generic, very sort of high level. That's just sort of a starter. I really want like people's input on how they feel about any of this, or is this completely off the beaten track? Yeah, and I think like that second to last one is pretty important. Like, don't want to have to, this is going to be a quite big redesign. Don't want to redesign it again after. Don't want to find ourselves in a situation where we have to redesign it again. We want to do this once and hopefully put Cluster API AWS on the right track. So I'll just leave it open to anyone else who wants to say anything, or if there's other things you think we need to tackle for V1 Alpha 4.
Thanks, Nadir. Anybody have any thoughts, comments, questions? Not seeing anybody unmute. So I am wondering, if we need to maybe put together a working group that meets more than once every 2 weeks and more than asynchronously to advance this, because I fear otherwise it will just take a while. So, do you have a set of folks, Nadir, that you can get the feedback on user stories from? Like, I know Robert, for example, would be a good one.
Yeah, definitely, Robert. I think maybe Jonathan, who's just put Woohoo in the chat, maybe. Maybe some other folks.
Sorry, what?
I just noticed you put a comment in chat, so if you're interested, I would like to invite you.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I'm interested.
All right. So maybe next week when you're back from being off, you could try and coordinate something, Nadir, to start having some regular conversations on this topic.
Yeah, we'll do.
All right. Thank you. Anybody have anything else to chat about with regards to Kappa for today? If not, it'll be a really short meeting. All right, I think we can call it a Monday, and we'll look forward to seeing some sessions, hopefully starting next week when Nadir is back on the API evolution, and I hope everybody has a good rest of your Monday. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, you too.